Thank you all for coming on today. Good morning and happy Friday. We are in a different season right now, and we are thankful for all of you and thankful for all those first responders and essential workers that are out there working for us every single day. So we are in a season of hope on the horizon, and we have panelists here, panel experts that are here to lead us into that hopeful season. Hope is what gives us strength and a trust that there are better days ahead, and we will overcome these challenges that we are facing with our businesses and our community. Bedford is resilient and strong because of the people who put others before themselves. And we have essential workers that are taking care of others every single day. Everybody is giving back and helping each other, so we are better because of you. And so thank you, and it is a time to be thankful for all of the essential workers, those on the front lines, and you can thank them on social media. You can thank them by sending them a meal or sending them a card. As we are a blessed community that has many leaders that give back and people that care, truly care about us and care about our businesses and our community as well. So without further ado, I want to introduce Scott, who is one of these that gives back every single day. He's a wonderful individual, and we just thank him for coming on to give his expertise today on leadership. And he is the founder and president of StyleWise Partners, which is an award-winning organization effective to consult companies in our region. So thank you, Scott, for being our facilitator today and through these webinar series that we're offering.
My pleasure. Thank you, Wendy, and thanks everybody for attending again. One little quick best practice before we get going today. I was on a video call similar to this with some customers the other day, and someone said they were looking for something that they brought back from the office. They're now in their home office, and when they went looking for this particular item, they came across a box of kind of their old stuff, and they said they found one or two things in that box of old stuff that really kind of brought joy to their life. And they said, you know, you should try it. It really helps in today's kind of stressful times. So I went into my basement the other day and I found my Little League bat from this has to be 72, 73. And so look at all the dents on this baby. I was a little leaguer back then. I can tell you, it's an old wooden bat. It's probably worth about $1.50, but it has brought actually a lot of great memories and a lot of joy in this time of craziness. So I recommend give yourself a little time this weekend. Go find something from the attic, from the basement, pull out that old box and give yourself a gift of some good memories. So with that. On the logistics side, at the bottom, for those of you that have not been able to join us in the past, on the bottom of your Zoom menu, you will see a chat feature. If you click on that chat feature and choose Wendy, you can put questions in along the way as we go through our presenters today. And we will have time at the end of our webinar for Wendy to have our panelists address those questions for you. So utilize the chat feature. Also, there's to the right a little reactions button. You can give a little clap if someone's making a great point and value, or give us the thumbs up signal as well. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. I will share my screen. First up today, we have Michael Elliott, who of course is our Chief Operations Officer from Centra Health. And Michael, we appreciate you being here and spending some time with us. I know this is a very busy time for you as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get your presentation ready to rock. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
All right, and let me get into slideshow view from the beginning.
All right.
All right, sir.
Thank you, Scott. And most of you are probably wondering, if you have your video, why I was wearing a cloth face mask to give a presentation. And it's really just to make a point. A lot of people are asking when they should do social distancing, when should they have on their cloth face masks, etc. And this is a scenario in which it is better to overdo it than underdo it, because it literally can mean lives. Last Friday, the announcement was made, the recommendation by the CDC, that anyone in public places where there is community spread, and frankly, we do have community spread of COVID-19, and it is widespread, we should be wearing cloth masks, and this helps protect others as much as it helps protect us. And so I just wanted to make a point with that. And if you have a question about what practice you should be doing, when and where, overdo it versus underdo it. So let's jump in. Next slide. So I started last week with this slide, and you're going to see me start with this slide, frankly, every week, because this slide, when done appropriately, equals us keeping members of our community safe and here with us. And so I won't go back into great detail here, but I want to give everyone a pat on the back here locally. What this slide continues to show is that if people are not taking protective measures, social distancing, working from home when you can, and other measures, we get to a point where the health system is outstretched for its capabilities. And that means that we're having to make decisions like have had to happen around the world of who's getting a ventilator and who's not. So they're truly life and death situations. I applaud everyone because the last week of information has improved for the state of Virginia. And that is a very positive thing. So what I'd like to share is that there are several models that are out there across the country looking to predict the disease burden. The most popular one right now is an IHME model that the President's task force on COVID-19 refers to rather frequently. Last week when we were together, that projection from that model was saying that we're likely to hit our peak of activity in the state of Virginia around May 20th. With other inputs and frankly with social distancing obviously making impacts in the state of Virginia, that peak is now expected to be lower, and however, it's expected to be sooner. So we're looking to likely have, based on the latest models, our peak activity in the state of Virginia here within the next couple of weeks. So that date has essentially moved up about a month. And so I just wanted to once again share with everybody the models are changing due to lots of different inputs. And the input here is that social distancing is working, and that's going to save lives in the state of Virginia. The slide here shows the changes from last week to this week, where we stand with the number of people tested. That number has almost doubled. The total number of cases, and that's confirmed cases. There are obviously lots of people actually walking around with COVID-19 that either don't have symptoms or just haven't been tested. Hospitalizations have gone up significantly, as well as the number of deaths. But hopefully we're going to be able to keep those number of deaths as low as possible. Next slide. This slide really shows from last week as well, some of the surrounding counties around Bedford and what's happened as far as the number of confirmed cases. I point out again, there are people walking around with COVID-19 and frankly just don't have any symptoms of it. And that's part of why this disease is so devastating and dangerous. But as you can see, for the surrounding counties, last week we had about 50 confirmed cases, and we're now up to about 108 confirmed cases. And so nobody should let their guard down just because we're making good inroads into the projection models. I wanted to share this slide. Hopefully this is something you've seen before as well. This can be used personally or can be used at people's businesses. It really just walks through what people should be doing if they have signs of COVID-19, cough, fever, shortness of breath, And then we have some information here that shows numbers that people can call if they have questions. If your business has a question about ways to continue to keep your employees safe, we have our HealthWorks arm of Centra Health, and their number is there at 434-269-33. And then for any individuals who have questions, we have a hotline, which is 434-200-1225. Next slide. And so really, this is the last slide, and I just want to reiterate a couple of things. Number one, people continue to say, hey, what do you need? What are your areas of focus? Just like last week, personal protective equipment is huge for us. I told you last week that we were doing better than most, and I can still say that today. We've gotten large shipments. We've gotten lots of donations from the community. And so we are in a good place, but we're not going to say that we're home free by any means, because PPE flies out the door when you're dealing with patients. And we have a number of COVID positive patients in our hospitals and definitely in our area at this point. Secondly, continued area of focus is social distancing. One of the major questions I've gotten over the last week, now that people are wearing cloth face masks out in public, is can they relax on their other social distancing measures? And the answer is absolutely not. This is an and, not an or. And so continue social distancing along with the cloth face mask. I wanted to give a shout out to your local hospital, our hospital, Bedford Memorial Hospital. They're actually serving a very important role within our region right now. I'll give you the example. We are keeping Bedford Memorial Hospital as our quote, COVID-free hospital. So what you're not going to find is any inpatients in Bedford Memorial Hospital with COVID-19. We're transferring all of those individuals to Lynchburg General. With that, we are keeping our capacity at Lynchburg General mostly for COVID-19 patients. So we're actually transferring patients from Lynchburg General and other parts of our organization over to Bedford Memorial Hospital so that we can have that surge capacity at Lynchburg General for the weeks that are to come. So thank you, Bedford Memorial Hospital and everybody there. And then last but not least, lots of people are asking, how can I help? Well, there's so many people asking that question that we decided to put something out on our website. You can go to centrahealth.com/coronavirus, and there's a section near the bottom of the page there that talks about how you can help. And it also gives an email address of people who want to connect with Centra and provide something either for our staff or in other manners. So I'll end my report with that. Thank you, everybody. Keep your social distancing going. It is making a huge impact and it's saving lives. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate that. And again, everybody, remember at the bottom of your toolbar, there is the chat feature. Go ahead and click on that if you have questions for Michael to address. Send them in to Wendy, and the chamber team will gather those, and we'll hit those at the end of the call today. And I know, Michael, again, thank you. You have a busy morning. You're going to be heading off to some critical meetings that you need to take care of in relationship to COVID. So again, we thank you for your time. And if we have any additional questions for you and Centra, we'll get those over to you so that you can provide that information back to Wendy and the team.
Thank you.
Very good. So next we have Mr. Jamie Reynolds. He's with Fin Team Management or Business Consulting. And I'll let Jamie, you can tell us a little bit more about your organization while I get your slide deck pulled up. And thank you for being here today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me, Scott. Yeah, I spent about 23 years in corporate financial planning and analysis type roles. 10 of those years with Georgia Pacific, 6 with Genworth Financial. I also spent time back in the early days, the good days of Toys R Us. I was there at their regional office. But 2 years ago, I started this business Fin Team as a way to take those financial analysis type roles and approaches to business to small and mid-sized businesses. So what I'm going to go through today is a snippet of a webinar I've done in the past on Ease the Pain. It's called Ease the Pain because, you know, we're all as business owners or business leaders experiencing something from this, you know, even on the financial side, the economic side. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time this morning to go through some ways to maybe reduce some of your expenses temporarily during this time, or maybe even long term. A lot of times it's easy to look at your bank statements and go, wow, there's just nothing I can cut. There's nothing I can do here. Well, what I would encourage you to do after today's webinar is to list out all of your suppliers and kind of go through the list that I'm going to go through and see what you can do with each supplier. And there may be some that there's really no opportunity for, but it's definitely worth going through the exercise because an idea will likely pop into your head. So with that, let's get started. All right, so I basically discussed this. Our mission at FinTeam is to help business owners and leaders succeed financially. Most business owners, they start a business not because they're finance experts. They start a business because they have a talent in a certain area. They're chefs, they're hairstylists, you know, whatever. They're welders, and that's where their niche is. And it's not necessarily on the financial side. They'll hire a bookkeeper or a CPA to do their taxes, but there's no one there really to give them that financial guidance. If the restaurant's doing well and they want to open another one, should they buy a building or rent a building? How to manage their cash flow, leverage debt, things like that. So that's really our niche and what we strive for. So going into the savings opportunities, these are a list of things that I've put together that most of these I've actually done myself with various companies I've worked for. So I know they work, but like I said before, it depends on your supplier, depends on the type of work and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So temporary discounts. Right now, because everybody is struggling a little bit, there are a lot of suppliers that are offering discounts. We're on Zoom right now. I believe Zoom is offering premium for free right now. FinTeam, we're offering a 20% discount. A lot of places are offering discounts right now, and you may not be aware of them. It may have gone into your junk mailbox the other day. So call and ask. It never hurts to ask. The other thing is to limit your services or products. So this applies pretty well to restaurants. So limit your menu. If you limit your menu, therefore you'll limit the supplies you need and so forth, and just have a you know, like a skeleton menu for these next couple of months or so is one way to save on supplier expenses. The other thing is to pause. So what I mean by pause is, and a lot of times this applies to things like marketing, or maybe you have a digital billboard that you're paying for. Maybe, you know, contact the company, say, hey, for the next 2 months, I need to step away from that digital ad, and I'll get back to it in a few months. Pausing some services is definitely something that a lot of people are taking advantage of right now. The other thing is a service downgrade. So, you know, you think of apps. Most apps are free, but the free version has all kinds of things that are distorting your view, all these ads and crazy stuff, and you can pay for a premium package. Zoom is typically like that, where there's a free Zoom version. So anything that you have, you know, look at, okay, well, can I temporarily take the premium version off? I know LinkedIn has some premium versions. Maybe you go a couple months without that premium version just to take a less expensive package. And one thing I want to point out is a lot of the stuff I'm talking about it's real easy to go, well, those are nickels and dimes. That's not really going to help me a whole lot. Well, where you'll be surprised is if you save nickels and dimes in many, many areas, it adds up quick, and then it adds up to some good savings. Another thing is bundle. So the most popular or the most common bundling we're all familiar with is with utilities, or especially like internet. You may have phone, internet, cable, TV, all that stuff bundled with one supplier. And as you know, there's a bundle discount. So there could be some opportunities you have where you can combine different services as a bundle. For example, you may have a marketing person that designed your logo and gives you marketing strategy advice, but you have someone else that updates your website. Well, maybe that person, the market strategy person, also can update your website and give you a discount, like a bundle discount, since you're working with them. So look for opportunities to bundle things together. The next topic is fixed versus variable. Sounds kind of weird, but if you think about maybe a good example here would be with utilities. You know how you can go on a budget plan to where every month you pay the same amount, or variable is the more you use electricity, the higher your bill is, the less you use it, the lower your bill. Well, a lot of suppliers are the same way. So for example, think of a retainer. You may pay an attorney a retainer, a flat fee every month. Well, maybe you ask that for the next couple of months, go to a variable where you just pay the attorney an hourly rate when you need that person. If you need them for contracts or look over stuff, that will save you a lot of money versus continue to pay the retainer for the next 3 months. So that's definitely a way to save. Where you want to make sure you flip back is when business picks back up, you typically save money by going with a fixed rate with the supplier. But now if your business is down, this is the time to switch over to variable. And the last thing I was going to point out, I particularly am not a huge fan of this one, but I know a lot of people that do this and find value in it, and that's exchange. That's swapping services. So, earlier I was talking about attorneys and websites. Well, maybe you're a website builder, and you have started a business and you have a bunch of contracts you need drawn up. Talk to an attorney. He or she's going to charge you a lot of money. Say, hey, I'll build you a website, or I'll add this to your website if you can draw up these contracts for me, and we'll call it a wash. Stuff like that happens all the time among business owners, and it's a great way to save money. So reach out to those people with the skills in certain areas and then offer yours as well. Oh, okay. And then the last thing I'm going to say down there at the bottom, review your termination notices. If you have contracts with suppliers, there's a term notice. Because of us living in a different environment right now, they may be willing to forego whatever the termination is. Another thing is to assess the market periodically. This is a good opportunity to look around and see what others are charging. You may have a certain person doing work for you that was the right choice 5 years ago, but now things have changed and there's a better quality option out there and maybe less expensive. That's something you should do periodically, but definitely now. And then just ask for a cheaper rate. I called up SiriusXM and said, hey, I want to cancel. I don't need this right now. And they said, oh, why are you canceling? I said, well, it's too expensive. I don't want to pay for that right now. And they said, oh, well, how does, and they gave me another price that was a fraction of what I was paying for. So it doesn't hurt just to ask for a cheaper price. You'd be amazed at how often that works, as crazy as that sounds. But that's all I have, Scott. I appreciate you having me on and the opportunity to share those options available.
Jamie, thank you very much. It's a great opportunity for folks, like you're saying. I'm going to actually play off of a few things that you said in terms of this is a great time to pause and to reassess. And so thank you for you and your team providing such great resources for small and mid-sized businesses that, like you said, people went into these businesses because of their expertise and their passion in delivering that product or service, not in running their business or the financials of their business. So you and your team are critical and can certainly bring some great value there. Okay, I think we're all set. In terms of leadership responsibility, I think Jamie's message around pause and reassess is great advice. And that's really what StyleWise helps businesses take a look at as well, is what are you doing, or what opportunities do you have for your organization to increase its effectiveness? And so that really plays off of a few things. First of all, we need to have clarity on what our mission and vision is, and what has happened with COVID-19 in the marketplace in terms of what our original mission and vision is, and what maybe a temporary revision of that might look like. Also, what are the roles that are needed to carry out this mission and vision? So we're focusing on what we do. We focus on the folks that we utilize to get that work done. Maybe those roles change based on the different mix of business services and products that we might deliver. And then we naturally think about how the work gets done. What's the process? What are the tools that are needed to now get work done in this new environment? And then lastly, how do we want to work together as an organization? What do we want our culture to feel like in the organization? This is just general organizational effectiveness that leaders need to be thinking about every day. And we can translate this into an acronym that I refer to as GRIPPY, right? So the old adage of get a grip, we can think about this in terms of get a grippy. So in terms of our mission and vision, what are the core goals of the organization, and does everyone in the organization truly understand those goals, that we're all working towards the same goals? It always reminds me of the movie, I think it's called Miracle or Miracle on Ice. It's the story about the USA Olympic hockey team, where the coach is trying to get the kids to stop thinking about the name on the back of the jersey and start playing for the name on the front of the jersey. So do we have the organization really kind of zoned in on what the new mission and vision is, and what the goals of the organization are? Again, this is a great time to re-look at our roles that we have in the organization. Is it a situation where maybe roles are changing? Is it a situation where maybe we can help people understand what is within the scope of their job and what is not within the scope of their job? There are many of us that look at job descriptions and say, why do we even need a job description? Like, I don't even kind of follow this, I just do my thing. There's other people that have the style that are very, very attuned to making sure that their job description is accurate, and they have their performance review conversations around that as well. So it's important to have good clarity around what are the roles that we need in the organization, and how do they all fit together to reach the goals of the organization. Process-wise, do we have an accurate, true understanding of our process in our business, especially now in this type of environment where our processes have had to change? Think of all the businesses that have gone, like even Jamie mentioned, restaurants. All the businesses now that have totally new processes in terms of delivering their products and services to people. Curbside service, delivery, limited menus, change in menus, all sorts of different flows of work that need to happen. This is a good time to talk to your employees and see if they truly understand the process to optimize their performance for your customer base. And then lastly, again, is the interpersonal relationships. What are the ground rules that we want to have in working together? How do we make decisions as an organization? What are the behaviors that are expected on a daily basis in terms of how we treat our customers, how we treat each other? And then how do we set ourselves up for the future in terms of goals, roles, process, and interpersonal relationships going forward when we come out of this scenario. So this grippy assessment is really something that you can do within your business, both as you're getting ready to set up an effective organization. You can also use it as an assessment to say, how are we doing? Where are we maybe not hitting on all cylinders? Where maybe we not as effective as we could be? And to do that, one of the things that I can provide to Wendy and the team is this electronic copy of what we call the Grippy checklist. It's a little self-assessment that each of your individual players on your team can complete and just give a little pulse check as to how good do we feel about how are we doing as an organization in relationship to these different aspects. So understanding our purpose and the outcomes that we want. You know, are anywhere from 10% effective to 50% effective to yes, I know absolutely crystal clear why our purpose is here and the outcomes that we're striving to deliver on every day. The roles and responsibilities, the authority and the autonomy that people have within their roles. In terms of process, you know, measuring, monitoring processes, what are the milestones that we're looking to hit? What is our game plan in terms of processes? And then lastly, how are we operating together? As a leader, what you want to do is gather all the team's individual perspectives on this. And if everyone is, you know, thinking, we're 70, 80, 90, 100% effective, then great. But if you've got a few people going, I'm not really sure about the goals of the organization, or, you know what, I came in here and I learned from Johnny or I learned from Sue how to do my role, but I'm not really sure what the process really looks like. And I'm not sure what the people do before me or the people after me, etc. It's a great way to take this team assessment. And you have that feedback, especially if you have a situation where there is some lack of clarity. You can go through and have some discussions in terms of what do we want to do going forward. So in terms of goals, what has changed in our world? What are we going to do in terms of short-term goals versus long-term goals? And what do we know so far about those goals? And maybe what are the questions that the team needs us to answer as leaders? Looking at the roles again, providing ways to build knowledge and skills to function in this new world. So again, as a leader of an organization, it's really our job to make sure that all of our people are successful. What are we doing to provide the knowledge and the skills they need to work in this new world? And then going forward. Process-wise, the one question that I love that I pose to people all the time when I'm working with them, especially frontline employees, is if you had a magic wand, what would be 3 things that you would change starting Monday that would eliminate headaches for you as an employee and make things better for a customer? And it's amazing what employees know and they keep in their minds, but they don't voice unless they're asked. So I really encourage you to pause, reassess, and get feedback from the folks on the team to see if they had that magic wand, what could they do to make the organization more effective and more efficient? And then again, it's more of a culture, it's more of a mentality, but let's play for the name on the front of the jersey and treat everybody as a peer, as a thinking peer. One of my old bosses in Genworth Financial used to say, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And especially in times like this, let's use them in that ratio to drive good intent. So that's all I have for you. Keeping about focused on Grippy. Keep learning, keep leading, and use Grippy to gather feedback from your teams, as well as gather ideas on what you can do going forward. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time. And now we'd like to turn it over to Sheriff Mike Miller for a quick update on services that are being provided in the county.
Okay, real quick, good morning, everyone, from the men and women here at the Sheriff's Office. We want to echo what Centra Health and Michael's message was about social distancing and also wearing masks. It's so important. And in Bedford County, we are doing a good job so far, and we need to keep it up. And to remember that your Sheriff's Office is here for you. So please call us if you have any concerns or would like to ask a question. That's what we're here for. So please do that. Also, last week, I introduced the call center. And just to let everyone know that we have received over 200 calls through our call center for people either needing assistance, just having questions about different things that's going on in their lives. And so we've been able to direct over 200 people so far in the right direction. This week, we also added a counselor from our Department of Social Services. If someone just needs to talk to someone and keep it private, that's what it is about. And so we have added that service to our call center this week. One of the other things we spoke about last week is the Sheriff's Office working with our food pantries, loading vehicles, delivering food, and we have been able to support our food pantries. And we have delivered food, loaded vehicles to almost 50 families in our county. So we are working really hard trying to get our food out to our community too. One of the things we talked about, I believe last week also, was our Bedford Alert. It's better known as Reverse 911, where we're able to contact our citizens. As of yesterday, we've contacted almost 15,000 citizens, 14,962 to be right on spot there, to let them know about our call center, to let them know that we're out there supporting them through this time that we're going through. One initiative that we added this week, which was very popular, was a food truck called us, a vendor called us and wanted to know if he could come out and set up in front of our sheriff's office. And that was a great success. So we're going to start doing that each week with a different food vendor, a food truck. And we're going to have them out here from 11 to 2. We are practicing social distancing and all of the right things we're supposed to do with that. So we are doing that. So if you can put that out next week, if you need to know more, I can tell you who the food vendor is every week, and it will be a different one. So we're helping our small businesses through helping them support them this way. So the other initiative that we've started down here at the Sheriff's Office, you will see it next week on our YouTube video. We're working with our school system also, is we're starting a reading program to where deputies will go into our makeshift studio along with fire and rescue and some other partners that we have done, and we'll be reading books to our children. And we're sharing that with our school system and also on our YouTube for the Bedford County Sheriff's Office. Again, we're highly recommending wearing our mask. We have put that memo out to all of our employees here at the Sheriff's Office. Anytime now the deputies are exiting their vehicles, they are to be wearing masks, or it's highly recommended, so we can continue to fight this fight with this virus. April the 15th, just a couple more things I want to go over. April 15th starts our spring cleaning. So we're asking each person that's going to our sites to be able to be patient and keep their social distancing as we work to get this spring cleaning done, and to work with our site attendants to be able to make this a success. Our burn ban is on from 4 p.m. to midnight. So please be careful with our high winds that's been going on the last couple of days. All we need is our fire departments to be out there battling a brush fire when we didn't need to do that. So working with Chief Jones with our fire and rescue, he asked me to make sure everybody knows that. Also, the last thing is we're getting some different information on scams that's going out. One, of course, is the $1,200 stimulus package. They're trying to get that money through our scams, and also scams that's targeting our cell phones. We will be working on a document that we can put out to everyone on that. So please make sure your neighbors, yourself, your employees, each and every person knows to watch out for that and those scams, educational part of it. If you have a question, please call us. You can call the call center. You can call here at the Sheriff's Office. We would be more than happy to get in front of that than for some of our citizens to start losing some money out there. So please get that information out as much as possible. Remember that we are in this together. is what we are, and we're here to support you and all our community. And in closing, each one of our citizens in Bedford County is doing their part, and we ask you to continue to do that because it is critical to wear our mask, social distancing to save lives here, not only in our county or Commonwealth, but also in our country and the world. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, please either shoot them up or be able to call us. Have a great day.
Excellent. Thank you, Sheriff Miller. Greatly appreciated. And between your call center and the reverse 911, the Bedford Alert, think of the thousands of lives that have been affected and assisted through you and your team. So thank you again very much. And look forward to hearing some of the story time. It should be pretty cool. All right, so with that, thank you again to all our presenters. Greatly appreciated. We're going to turn it back over to Wendy to answer some of the questions that we've received during the day and bring us home.
Absolutely. There is hope, and we know that better days are ahead, and we just appreciate every single one of you on the call. We appreciate our panel guests who are experts in their field and that are bringing us the knowledge that we need to get through this time. And to come out better, actually. So we're looking forward to that. Our panel guests are here to give you up-to-date information. They'll help you guide you through this COVID-19 crisis, and will leave you with the tools that you need to succeed in this environment. And we are so thankful for all of you. So thanks again for our panel guests. Thank you for tuning in. We want to let you know of the different guests that we have coming up, and that will be next Friday, April the 17th. Make sure to tune in and just put this on your calendar to come on every Friday at 9:45, because we will have different panel guests. We do have our different ones that come on every week, but we also add to those to bring you different information. And we will have some counselors on the call, I believe on the 24th. So look forward to that. But next week on the 17th, we've got Jack Jones, Chief of Bedford County Fire and Rescue, and he is going to bring us some great information as well. And we will look forward to hearing different ways that we can be prepared. Also, Jennifer Smith-Ramey with Horizon, she's going to be on for mental health awareness and how to best survive and have some counseling techniques that you can utilize during this time. Also, Craig Stanowski with Fifth Order Technologies, he's going to come on and teach us a little bit more about Zoom. So if you're unfamiliar and you want to learn more about how to run a program yourself or run a meeting yourself, he will teach you some tools on the Zoom and some other things as well. So you want to tune in for that. And of course, we'll have special guest Michael Elliott back from Centra, who always brings us great information. So thank you again. Make sure to put this on your calendar. We are here for you, and we're here to support your needs. Together, we are stronger, and our community is better because of those who keep giving back. We have gratitude, and we are certain that we are coming into those days that will be better, and we are coming out better, and we will overcome. So thank you again for your chamber membership, supporting each other. Make sure to let us know if you do have discounts or special offers for our chamber members. We will post those. And thanks again, and be blessed in this season.